just to be fair and honest, I want also to talk about the thing that I like about Ramadan when I was a Muslim. So the one thing that I really liked was when I was not fasting, or when we were done with fasting. After we break our fast, it was basically when I was getting together with my cousins, with my family members. We play games sometimes, we watch TV shows, we are drinking tea, we are having dessert. It was basically something which has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with my family, with my social life. It was fun, and I used to enjoy it. My cousins, my family members used to enjoy it. And the fact that we were allowed also to stay awake for a long period of time compared to the normal days or the days when we were not fasting. That was very, very pleasant. It was fun. And I really loved it. But any other thing about Ramadan was not good at all. What's wrong with Islam? Why are you talking about Islam? Damn it, you have to stop. What's wrong with Islam? It's perfect. Short answer is everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. Nothing is right. Rules from the 7th century forced on people living nowadays. Why? Why do you want to get stuck? Why do you want rules of the 7th century to rule your life? Rules about marriage, divorce, children, how to deal with women, how to deal with men, witnesses, how to prove that your wife is cheating, the 4 witnesses, the kids belong to the bed, punishments, savage punishments, cutting someone's hand, slashing people, stoning them to death. Everything about Islam is wrong. I'm criticizing it as an ideology, as a religion, because it is so rigid. Not my opinion, it's the actually statement of Allah. You cannot change the words of Quran. Absolutely not. And if there is a statement about something in Quran, it's the words of Allah. You cannot change it, you cannot adjust it, you cannot do anything. Even if you are a scholar, even if you are the ruler, the caliph, you cannot do anything about it. The words of Allah cannot be changed. That's the problem. If we are talking about an ideology or a system that can be changed and can be modernized, we can say that we gonna just ask people to ask their government or their rulers or their leaders to give them better rules, something better, because they deserve better. Now, who we should talk to when it comes to Quran? Where do we send the applications? Where do we send the applications when it comes to changing the Quran, removing some verses from Quran, erasing completely some chapters from Quran? We can't send applications to anywhere or anyone, because again, it's the words of Allah, and you are stuck. These rules are still, until nowadays, they are still controlling people's lives. And I talk about it because I want people to know that they deserve better. They don't deserve to live their life nowadays with the rules of the 7th century. Just because someone told them that this is the words of a divine called Allah. That's what is wrong with Islam. Isra and the Miraj, or what they call the big night where Prophet Muhammad went to heavens, went to Al-Aqsa Mosque and prayed with all the prophets and was able to meet Allah himself and saw what is in heaven. This trip happened 5 years before the immigration of Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Al-Madinah in the year 621. Quraysh and other tribes were telling him, you're gonna need to prove that you are a prophet if you're claiming that you are one. We need a miracle, we need something. So he decided to take this trip, or let's say that Allah sent him a burak, the flying donkey with 600 wings, to take him from Mecca to Jerusalem to heaven, back to Jerusalem to Mecca in one night. Interesting, right? And this trip is mentioned in the verse 1, chapter 17. The surah is Al-Isra. Anyone can read it. However, this whole trip has more details in the hadith narrated by Abu Huraira, Aisha, Ibn Abbas, and each of them is giving a different perspective, because Aisha, for example, is saying that it was just a dream. Ibn Abbas is saying that it was real. Abu Huraira is basically just saying what Prophet Muhammad told people, that I actually went in person to these places and I met Allah in person. So let's talk about the mistakes, or the logical mistakes that we can all see. Historical one first. When Prophet Muhammad used the burak, he parked his burak at the parking lot of Al-Aqsa Mosque. But we know that this is actually a historical fallacy, a mistake, an error, which is also mentioned in the verse, in the chapter 17. Because we know that Al-Aqsa Mosque was built by Umar ibn Khattab in the beginning, and then finished by Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, which was years after the death of Prophet Muhammad. So this is the first mistake. The second mistake is, why do you need to lock or park your burak anywhere? It's safeguarded by the angels, sent specifically by God to you, and it will not run away. The third mistake is, Muhammad claimed that he led the prayer with all the prophets. How did this prophet came with you to Jerusalem? Did any of them have a burak? How did they get there? How did they get back to the seventh heaven or seventh sky where you met them again? And why did you need to meet them again on the seventh heavens? And the biggest one, the biggest mistake or the biggest error in this whole story is that Muhammad claimed that he met Allah in person, and that his throne was safeguarded by angels. Does Allah need any kind of protection? Is Allah located or is in a specific place? We know that the Quran doesn't say that. Quran says that Allah is beyond time, beyond places. He's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So when Muhammad say that, is he actually talking about something true, or is another lie? And by the way, the Isra and Miraj, these trips that people take to heavens and to places like hell, happen in other religions and was claimed by other prophets or people who were saying that they are prophets.